On the Capitol Watch, child care providers around the Treasure Valley are waiting to find out if supplemental funding will continue or end early. The funding first came from the feds during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic when daycares were struggling to stay open, and professionals say they're still feeling the effects of that. Today, there's still $43 million available, but as Abby Davis found out, some lawmakers aren't thrilled about getting more money from the federal government, and they want to send it back.
That's exactly right, Brian. That money is there, but lawmakers have to decide how they allocate it, if at all. If they don't, some people say Idaho's child care industry falls even deeper into crisis. For many, the future of Idaho's child care industry feels uncertain.
I think that we're going to go back to a place that was worse than before the pandemic.
Beth Oppenheimer with the Idaho Association for the Education of Young Children is mainly concerned about funding. She says since 2020, the federal government has given Idaho more than $100 million to help stabilize the child care industry. That money is from the American Rescue Plan Act.
Child care providers have been using these dollars to keep their operations afloat and to also enhance wages for individual child care providers.
3,600 individual child care providers have gotten $300 each month. 700 child care businesses have also received money.
So a large center, they have been receiving up to $20,000 a month, and that is just to cover operational costs, food, lights, utilities, rent, and all of those things.
But another $43 million allocated to Idaho's child care industry is currently up in the air.
Those funds are actually with the federal government right now, and if we say, hey, we have appropriated them for these purposes, then the federal government will reimburse us.
Child care professionals like Oppenheimer are worried they won't get that money.
The Idaho legislature is poised to not accept the remaining $43 million that would continue this funding through the end of June, which means it will be shut off immediately.
Some lawmakers have voiced concerns about taking more money from the federal government. Republican co-chair of Idaho's Budget Committee, Wendy Horman, says the Department of Health and Welfare already has $100 million in its budget for the child care industry.
And they have $10 million yet to expend. So they still do have funds to get out the door. The question that still remains is, will that additional $43 million be proposed to be spent as well?
Oppenheimer says not taking the money would be detrimental.
We hear from providers all over that they honestly cannot continue these next couple of months if they do not receive this funding.
This will be a budget decision, and members of JFAC have until the end of the session to decide what to do with the $43 million. Oppenheimer spoke to us from Washington, D.C. That's why she was over Zoom. She was talking to congressional leaders about getting some more federal funding for child care, but her main concern right now is Idaho lawmakers not taking advantage of the funds that are available.
Ironic that she's back in D.C. asking for more money when we're considering sending the money that we have back to there. And I have to imagine then if they don't get this money, child care providers then have to pass that cost on to their clients, therefore raising the cost or making those facilities fewer and fewer around the state.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It would just raise costs for everyone, parents, people offering child care. So Oppenheimer says it doesn't look good.
And the cost of living doesn't seem to be going down anytime soon. All right, thank you very much, Abby.